Really? Everson Griffen. Really? Everson Griffen. There's been a ton of chatter coming from reporters like Rappaport, the Vikings Twitter account, that are saying Everson Griffen and the Vikings are talking about nearing a deal to bring him back. And I feel like I'm going to make a lot of Vikings fans maybe a little upset or maybe they'll disagree with me, but I think that is a terrible idea. I think that is 100% probably the worst move. I mean, obviously not the worst move they could do right now, but I would be honestly a little disappointed in them if they would kind of do this. If they would bring back Ev for probably a 1-year vet minimum deal, I would be upset. And I have my reasonings. We're going to talk about this on the field and off the field on why this will not work out. And I just think it would be a waste of money and a distraction in the locker room. And I don't think the Vikings really need him anyways. I think they have built something here where they don't need to go kind of take a risk on a veteran player like that. Anyways, that's what we're talking about right now. So obviously, this has been floating around Twitter a lot, and I've seen mixed opinions on it. I've seen Vikings fans obviously being thrilled that Everson's coming back, and I expected that. I mean, obviously, I'm a fan of Everson Griffen. When I'm making this video, I don't want to see him like, oh, I don't think he was a good football player. But the thing is, it's not. The question is he? The question's not, was he a good football player? Is he a good football player right now? I'm going to start with this on the field. I'm not even going to talk about the shenanigans off the field because that's when I can really get into Ev. But let's just talk about it on the field. We don't need him. We don't. We don't need him. We have already a really good defensive line. We already have these young guys who deserve reps and who are going to get reps. And I don't want Everson to take away reps from guys like DJ Wonnum, especially. He's the one guy I kind of thought of, or even like Dalvin. I know Dalvin Tomlinson's more inside. He's more of a 3-tech. But I just don't want another guy in the rotation because I love the defensive line we have now. If we were going to bring in another edge rusher, it would have to be on the level of a Von Miller, Chandler Jones, somebody of that stature. But if we're going to bring in an old school Everson Griffen, I just don't see the advantage of it. Now, if you're telling me maybe like, hey, he'll only come in on third downs and we'll go Everson, Sheldon Richardson, Michael Pierce, or Dalvin Tomlinson, and then Danielle Hunter. I mean, yes, I would not be opposed to that. That would be awesome. But the reason that would be awesome is not because of Everson Griffen. The reason that would be awesome is because of Sheldon Richardson, Dalvin Tomlinson, and Danielle Hunter. And that's kind of my point. I'm saying if DJ Wonnum, if he's anything what we think he could be, he's already better than Everson Griffen. He's younger. He's more athletic. He has more of still a tenacious attitude to him, just like Ev had during his prime. And he just needs reps to get better and better. DJ Wonnum came in last year. He didn't have a training camp. He didn't have a preseason. He had none of that. And now he finally gets that this year. He was able to get in the weight program. He put on a ton of muscle. So go let him be that 4th, 5th defensive lineman and go get the reps. On the field, I don't think it makes sense. It's not like Everson Griffen's good against the run. He'll maybe get 4 or 5 sacks this year, and I just don't think the Vikings, I just think their defense is already good enough. Don't mess around with that. And the reason I'm saying don't mess around with that is my main point. The off the field. You're not going to bring Everson Griffen back into this locker room. I know Everson Griffen was a huge locker room guy when he was here, and he was with the Minnesota Vikings. But this offseason, he bashed the quarterback on Twitter. Whether he was drunk, high, both, I don't care. You're not going to bring in a guy who publicly bashed your starting quarterback on Twitter. I think the quote was Kirk Cousins is ass, or along those lines. It was just kind of a shot. It wasn't like coming at Kirk's personality. He's just saying Kirk's not a good quarterback. Bring that in your locker room. It starts to create dissent. Even if he comes out and apologizes and they have a sit-down conversation and they hash all that out, I'm still not here for it. Because we've seen with Draymond Green and Kevin Durant, if we're going to connect this back to the NBA, those two guys had the chance. They even talked about it this past week. They thought they could go win 5 rings. But Draymond Green called Kevin Durant the B word, and that sticks with a guy. That sticks with Kevin Durant. And I don't know how thin Kirk Cousins' skin is or how thick it is compared to Kevin Durant, because he obviously has some pretty thin skin. But we don't know if that message is still in his head. And we don't want our quarterback to have a clogged or a cloudy mindset when he's trying to prepare each and every week. And listen, you could just say, well, all right, well, Kirk should just ignore Everson. We shouldn't not bring in a guy to help out the team just because of him. I agree with that. But also, it's not like we need to bring him in. If we needed another pass rusher, I would say 100% go get Everson Griffen. But we don't. Danielle Hunter's here. DJ Wonnum's here. Dalvin Tomlinson is here. Sheldon Richardson. Michael Pierce. Those are the 5 guys I like. And honestly, it's not like, listen, I know Shamar Stephen is kind of like a meme. He's kind of in the Dozier category for us Vikings fans, but he's looked pretty good. I think we're fine. I would be against it. Obviously, if the Vikings came out this week and signed Everson Griffen, I will be excited just to see 97 back in the purple and gold. From a general manager, from Rick Spielman's point of view, I don't see it. I don't get it. Let me know what you guys think down below. I may have a lot of you guys disagree with me. However, I'm kind of set on this. I think the Vikings are good enough. That's the main point I'm trying to make. The Minnesota Vikings are good enough to not go sign Everson Griffen. Thank you guys so much for watching.